This is video number 3 for section 6.1, 6.2, and 6.3, function combination. These problems are just here to give you another way to practice with the operations that we've already talked about. What you'll see in the homework is something like this. They'll say, here's a function called f of x, here's a function called g of x, and then they'll tell you, you find this new function called f plus g of x. So f plus g is the new name. You're finding the new equation of a new function. Well, you can probably guess what they want you to do. They basically just want you to add together the previous two functions to obtain the new function. Let's write down the problem we're going to do. I'm just adding these two pieces together, as we've seen already. That's just a matter of combining like terms. I've got a couple of x squared terms, a couple of x terms, and a couple of plain old number terms. And when I add those together, I get 3x squared plus 3x. Negative 1 plus 4 is 3. And 1 plus negative 3 is negative 2. This is now a new function whose name is f plus g. It was made of simply adding the other two functions together. The next part basically says, well, now that you have this new function, go ahead and use it. What would happen if you stick negative 2 into that function? Well, again, we've done this sort of thing before. Since the negative 2 is in the input slot position, I just need to go to my new function and replace all the input slots with negative 2. In other words, simply fill in negative 2 everywhere I see x. I've made sure to use good empty slots, and then I filled them in with negative 2. Want to make sure I get all my signs right. Let's see, this would be negative 2 squared is 4, times 3 is 12. This one looks to be minus 6, minus 2. When you work that all out, this comes out to be 4. Function combination. We created a new function by adding together two other functions, and then we used that function just like we always have. Let's try one other example. This one says, find f times g of x. So again, we're still using these same original functions. Now we're creating a new function called f times g, and obviously this time they want us to create the new function by multiplying the two pieces together. Again, let's write that down. It's a simple idea, but this one is going to require a lot more work. This is a big mess. I'm multiplying a trinomial by another trinomial. That means I'm going to have a total of 9 multiplications, because each term from the first has to be multiplied by each term from the second. That's 9 multiplications in all. You would really need to make sure to stay organized here so that you don't miss any of those multiplications. I feel like in a problem like this, the box is the way to go. I would have to draw a pretty big box this time. It's going to have 3 columns and 3 rows. And then I'll list the trinomials across the left side and the top. I really like the box for these because I'm not going to be able to miss one of those 9 multiplications. I have to fill in all 9 boxes. You may want, for your own practice, to pause the video and make sure you can fill them out yourself. I'll run through the details quickly here. Let's see. Coefficient here would be 2, x squared times x squared, x to the 4th. Here I've got an 8, and I'd make x cubed. 2 x's, 1 more x, x cubed, minus 6x squared. All those negatives and positives matter, of course. Here I have minus 1 for the coefficient, and then x cubed, minus 4x squared, positive this time 3x. A negative times a negative makes a positive. Multiplying by 1 is very easy. Just copy down the top row there. There's my 9 multiplications. Each term from the first one was multiplied by each term from the second one. All that's left is to combine your like terms. As so often happens, they show up very nicely in the box diagonally. Let's go ahead and write them in our typical order, starting with the highest exponent. I have 2x to the 4th, so this is now the final answer. let's see, I have these two terms with x cubed. That makes plus 7x cubed. I have three like terms to add up here. Negative 6, negative 4, and positive 1 makes negative 9x squared. And then 7x. And finally minus 3. I don't have any more like terms. This right here is the final answer to the problem. Remember, we were finding ourselves the equation of a brand new function whose name is f times g, and here's the equation. I didn't put another example where we might use this, but obviously that would be very easy. If we wanted to find f times g of negative 2, for example, we would just replace all the x's with negative 2 and work out our calculation. You may want to redo this last one without the box just to make sure you can stay organized and get the same answer.